Let's decorate some fun Lucky Charms cookies together. Hey bakers, welcome back to my channel. It's Angela from Bake Angel, and today I'm going to show you a really easy way of decorating some flooded cookies with using edible markers. That's right, we're not going to be using royal icing at all to actually add color to our cookies. Now you can see here that I've got everything laid out ready for me. I have my edible markers on the right, I have an assortment of paintbrushes, I have my pre-flooded cookies which have been drying for 24 hours. I also have some paper towel and a little pot of water which I will be using with my brushes. Now I will pop the links to everything in the description below so that you can find out which markers I recommend and also the brushes as well. And I'll also share the links to my cookie and royal icing recipes too. So first of all, I'm just going to go around and outline my cookies. And the great thing about painting with edible markers is that you can add as much or as little color as you like. And you don't have to be an artist for this either. As you can see here, I'm just doing a rough squiggle of color just across the design, and then what we're going to do is use a very slightly damp brush to actually turn that into our paints, and we can push the color exactly to where we want it to be. And I do want this to be fairly pale, and the markers that I have will give you a really vibrant color. So if you wanted it to be darker, you would just have a little less water or a little more color on there. And as you can see here, I blotted the water off of my brush onto the paper towel first. That's because you want to make sure you don't have too much liquid on there, because it will just turn it into a big mess otherwise. And then with your brush, just go around and actually meld all of those lines together. You want to make sure that you actually drag some of that color onto the sides of the icing as well, unless you want to keep it white. That's entirely up to you. I just kind of like the look when the color drags over the sides too. You can see with my brush strokes that I'm kind of just going in one direction each time as well. That's actually because you'll have less likelihood of the brush marks actually showing on your cookie when you do it this way. So now I'm just going back over it to even out that color, just going over the edges again, and then we will be done. This is such an easy technique, and I haven't sped this particular cookie up for you because I want you to see how quick it is. Now the beauty of doing this over actually piping the color with icing is that once it's dry, you could bag your cookies up right away and they would be ready for your customers or your friends if you were taking these to a party. You could add a little bit of cornstarch onto them to make sure that no moisture will actually affect the marker so that the color would leach off in the bag. And then, as I said, you are good to go to package these up. So this one is done. What do you think about that? Really quick and easy, wasn't it? And like I said, you don't really need any skill to do this. You are literally coloring inside the lines as if you were doing a coloring book. Okay, so the important thing now is just to give your brush a really good clean off. You can see a little bit color has come off of it, and just keep doing that until no more color actually comes off of those bristles. And now what I'm going to do for the next 6 cookies, I'm going to speed it up for you so you can just enjoy some relaxing cookie decorating. now we're going to move on to our last cookie, which is the rainbow. And you can see as well, they've all had that nice little bit of shine, but that will actually go when the marker dries out. If you wanted to add shine to these cookies, by the way, you could add something like a PME spray to them, or even a poppy paint as well. But it's entirely up to you what look you're going for the overall design of the cookies. Now with this one, because there are 3 colors, I'm just going to be a little bit more careful when I do the painting part of this. And also again, because the colors are quite vibrant from our pens, I'm not going to fully color them in. So you can see here with my pink, I have left it quite open. There's a lot of white space there. I'm going to wet my brush a little bit and then just drag that color to fill in the gaps. Now the other thing that I really like about this technique is you're not waiting for something to dry before you move on to the next color. It really is as simple as just doing one, as you saw on some of the previous cookies, and then straight away going on to the next color. You can't really do that as quickly with royal icing. You would have to leave it crust over a little bit or pop it in a dehydrator to speed up that process. So this is definitely a great way if you want to decorate cookies really quickly and just have a different look about them as well. I think this is such a great alternative for cookie decorating. Now we're just cleaning off our brush. We're going to go on to our second color, which is our yellow. And when you do add other colors which are side by side, you just want to be careful that you're not really going into the previous color, because you'll get a little bit of color bleed there, as you would if you were just mixing paints normally. So don't forget, these are in essence turning into a watercolor when we're using this technique. So you want to make sure that you don't have too much water on your brush and too much color right next to each other. And because of that, I am actually going to use a thinner brush for the second color, just so that I can get it a little bit closer to the pink without actually going into the pink, because we don't want it to affect the color at all. And that's looking good. That's coming together really well. Make sure you drop a comment below as well and tell me which of the Lucky Charms is your favorite. I think most people have a favorite with this cereal, and I'd love to know what you think. It's definitely my kids' favorite cereals at this time of year as well. And these are actually being made on funfetti cookies, so that, as you saw a little bit earlier when I showed the back of the cookies, you've got a little bit of extra color in there from the sprinkles in the cookie dough. Now we're going to go on to our final color, which is the really nice bright blue. Same thing as with the yellow. I'm not butting right up to it. You can see there is a little bit of a white gap in between. Now I did just kind of go a little bit too heavy-handed with the blue in the middle. You can see I've just gone down slightly, but what I can do is just use my brush to kind of tease that color back to where it needs to be. Again, I'm going for the slightly smaller brush this time, just with the thinner bristles, so I have a little bit of extra control on it. You could of course do all of these techniques with just one brush though. And now I'm just going to finish it off with the bigger brush as well, as that will help me get a little bit more coverage, especially when I go onto the sides of this cookie too. But I think this one is definitely my favorite. I love the pastel colors that we've made with our markers, and it's just a really nice pop of color with all the others that we've made. Now let's work on the sides as well. Now if you ever find that you don't have enough colour to drag onto the sides, you could just go around again with your marker and add another line of the marker pen to it, and then just do the same technique with the brushing. Obviously make sure you don't have too much water on there, because you don't want it to seep into the cookie. And there we go, that's our rainbow finish. So that's our 8 Lucky Charm cookies done. Let me know in the comments what you think of this technique, if you've ever seen it before, and if you think you're gonna have a go at it as well. I think it is a great option if you don't wanna make up lots of royal icing colors, and it's quick and easy too, and you don't have a huge amount of drying time with it. Thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure you check out my other cookie decorating videos, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.